afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our family podcast show. My nephews, Javier, Husamaddin Parker, and then Sherry. Also, you're involved too. And also, we got a guest today.
Yeah.
Marvin. I'm going to call you Marvin from church. How about that?
Appreciate it, Big Sam. How's everything going?
Man, just plucking away. Plucking away. Good to have you on, though.
Man, appreciate to be on. Thanks for the invite, man.
No problem, man. Mi casa, su casa.
Well, let me put my feet on your couch for a little bit then.
Not that, no. What do you mean? Well, no, didn't you have a little radio show at one time?
I did. I had a TV show. I had a radio show. I had a podcast for a little bit of time. First Contention. Man, that's been maybe about 5-7 years ago. And we would air on some of the network television shows here in the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area, West Metro, and everything. So yeah, sports has always been my passion, always been my background. So anything to talk about, anything sports related, debate about who the GOAT is and all this other good stuff, count me in.
All right, you're in.
Well, I was thinking how long ago it had been, but now who do you work for? You work for the University of Minnesota, correct?
Actually, no, I left the U, so now I'm with the Federal Reserve Bank right now. So I'm actually doing some different things with the Federal Reserve Bank and their HR management, talent acquisition space currently. But yeah, it was at the U for almost 4.5 years before making that transition.
How was that transition going for you?
It's been good, man. It's been good. I would say it's a little different because of COVID and everything, and not being able to go to the office and kind of starting this work from home process. But other than that, it's been a good transition. You never understand the full power of a Federal Reserve Bank until you're going through a midst of transition like we're going through right now.
It's a lot of power.
Great.
That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of moving and shaking, man. A lot of moving and shaking.
So let's talk about some sports. I gotta go over something really, really quick. I gotta get my notes. Let's see. Well, I want to talk about really quick. JJ Watts. He got released from the Houston Texans.
Yep.
And then the other one is Derrick Rose. He got traded this week to the New York Knicks.
I didn't even think Derrick Rose was still playing.
Shame on you. He got work.
I'm just saying, his name used to be relevant. Now it's like, oh, Derrick Rose got traded. Oh, I didn't know he was still playing.
Oh, that's rude. Oh, that's messed up, man. That man's still collecting the paycheck.
Hey, man.
Right.
He is still collecting a paycheck. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, he used to be part of relevant conversation on ESPN and everywhere else. And until you said he was traded, I didn't even know he still played.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's one of those situations.
Feel like she's
Tibbs brought him back to New York. And actually, you think about it, Derrick Rose can do some things that other guards can't do. He's still got his speed, still has an adequate jumper.
He still got his playmaking ability too. So, Derrick Rose and he knows Tibbs' system. So, and that's the other big thing. You bring in another guard like Derrick Rose and you move out Dennis Smith Jr., who wasn't really getting any minutes anyway.
Right.
So basically you just, you're improving the next team. You're step by step, you're getting them back to respectability. Let's say that, they've been playing hard this pandemic season. That's all you can ask for with this team that really doesn't have a lot of stars, even though Julius Randle is balling out of control. So I don't think he would be an all-star, but he can get a couple of looks for that nod.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say, to be honest, I think ever since Julius Randle left LA, man. I mean, he wasn't a good fit in LA, but he's always had that kind of game where he could do. He's always been solid. And yeah, you're right, man. To bring D Rose back, that solidified the guard for them because they were just that. They were the Knicks watching them. They were like up and down so much, at the guard, with too many turnovers, not enough assists, a lot of different things happening. So, I mean, now I think that would really help them, compete even more. Though, I mean, they are competitive, so they're not just getting blown out by 30 every single game like they used to. So now they're really competitive. You don't bring an A game, they're gonna work hard and try to beat you. So pretty much a blue collar team now.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask Marvin another question. This has just been bothering me, Marvin. Everybody has been raving on Luka, and they kept saying in the beginning of the season, before the season started, they said, "Well, he's gonna be the next MVP." It's not looking like he is the next MVP.
Well, I'm a data stats sports nerd, so I love all this stuff, right? So you take a look at what Luka did in the bubble and how he put it on the Clippers. Like he put it on Paul George, he put it on Kawhi Leonard in a bubble down in Disney, and he was going off, especially. I think that was game 5 or game 4 where he had that game winning jumper with 40 plus points and another triple double. So you coming into this season, you're thinking, okay, he can continue to improve and expand upon that. But you look at this Dallas team, you go from one of the best offenses last year to this year, one of the worst teams in terms of shooting the ball, one of the worst teams in terms of scoring. I just saw a stat earlier today in terms of efficiency. Josh Richardson is one of the least efficient players in the NBA right now. Kristaps is not what you thought he would be coming when you traded for him back in from the Knicks. Tim Hardaway Jr. hasn't been all that good. So the surrounding pieces around Luka has not been up to par, I would say. And now you factor in, I think he's pressing and he's not having the same level of fun and enjoyment that he was having last year.
So he's not an MVP.
Not with the team record. No, if you take a look at it, I would put the Joker front of him in terms of an MVP race, and their teams are, kind of similar in terms of record.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I
was going to say, I think the biggest key to the Mavericks is Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, if you think about last year, he was clutch. He was super clutch in a lot of different games, still giving you 20, 25 points. Porzingis was giving you 25 points. You knew that with Hardaway, you're going to get 18 to 20 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Where he could really do his own and make a play and then hit the open shot. And this year, it's just like you said, man, Luka, he got to get 42 in the triple double to even not lose by 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the things it's just my opinion, I think because they didn't re-sign Seth Curry and Seth went to Philadelphia with his father-in-law, Doc Rivers, I think that really hurt them.
One of the things that's really hurting them too is that they really don't have another person that really can create their own shot. It seems like Luka's the only person that is creating shots for everyone and getting those opportunities for everyone. And on top of that, they really, you look at the team, they really don't have no one that can put pressure on you kind of in that restricted area in the paint. When you need an easy bucket, Luka can get you an easy bucket, but all the attention is on Luka. You don't have anyone else to, if I kick it out to them, they can break down the dribble, swing it around and create their own shot for someone else or create their own shot for them. So, in reports, you can see them going after a free agent, someone like Depot, or maybe making a trade for someone like Levine to come in and bring in kind of another, I would say like another go get it type of guard, someone that can, I can give them the ball and they can just flat out just go get it.
Right, and see, and I, you said it, made a very good point, Marv, because I think going and getting Zach LaVine from Chicago would be excellent for Dallas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely Zach LaVine.
We should have kept Zach LaVine.
Well,
yeah, your fault.
That's Minnesota. Sorry.
Well, I guess I gotta throw this caveat. I'm originally from Milwaukee, so anytime that I see a Minnesota sports team kind of struggle, it kind of
don't care.
It brings little smiles to my face. So
well, you're smiling up the storm because I think, one of the things I think a lot of these coaches, we talked about this yesterday, is that these coaches get a mindset of having you fit into what they got going on instead of the other way around. And I'm being a lot of these, that's why I say a lot of these coaches just bum coaches, man. Because you look at Philadelphia, for instance. They are the best record in the East. And Ben Simmons don't shoot no threes, but Ben Simmons don't need to shoot no threes. Keep creating, but Ben Simmons will play some defense on your behind.
Right.
One of the things that was frustrating, I took a look at, I watch old NBA games, so I took a look at the 2019 Sixers where they had JJ Redick, Tobias, and Jimmy was on that team as well. And you look at that team and the way that it was constructed, that was a finals worthy team right there. That's a team that should have went to the finals, at least competed with the Warriors for the finals. But, like you said, coaching, unable to make those adjustments, unable to put your players in the right positions to see them succeed. Then the next season, you lose Jimmy, you keep Tobias, but you sign Al Horford. Now you have three players that kind of operate in the same space with Embiid, Ben, and Al Horford. It was a poor constructed team, so they was doing stuff from the start. So now that you add in a couple of different shooters now. You add in Steph Curry, you add in Danny Green, you add in some people to spread out the floor a little bit better. Now Embiid can actually go to work, and he doesn't have to have have to get double team or triple team and some of these other things as well. And it just opens the floor up so much more. And Doc is putting them in positions and putting the team in positions to see them succeed. So, Brett Brown the lack of adjustments, man. And that's what a lot of coaches are unable to do, is kind of adjust on the fly. And I'm a huge Bucks fan, and this has been the biggest criticism of Bud. With when they faced the Raptors, Kawhi was on Giannis. He was unable to adjust, and ever since then, they've been unable to adjust. Where teams have been able to scout them and find out their tendencies and their weaknesses and continue to pry on them. That's what Miami did last year in the bubble.
Right. Do you think that? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say.
Look, we're both talking at the same time. Go ahead,
real quick, Marvin, about Milwaukee, just because you brought it up. When I watch them, and I know Giannis is a big thing, and they look different. They look a little different. How do you think that Giannis? They don't look the same. They don't look cohesive enough like they did last year. So I know things change, and I know Giannis, he's trying to work on his J. He's trying to work. I mean, he's getting a little bit better, but man, he got to get that 15. He got to get that 18-footer, man. That's something. But they don't have enough shooting either. They don't have enough 3-point shooting.
I'm sorry, Marvin.
Go ahead.
Can I just interrupt? So I'm gonna go back to what Marvin said. That's coaching. If you don't have a coach to work with Giannis, or you don't give him a resource so he can develop a jumper. You have to remember, Giannis didn't start playing basketball till later in his life. It wasn't like he was 9 and he's been playing ever since, right? So he's still got to understand the game himself. But I agree, like with coaching. Like if you don't evolve with your players and you stay the same and you don't switch up or you don't change because of the team or who you're playing, you're going to be stuck. And I think the Bucks look out of sync because you start from top down. That's a head coach.
Right.
So your job is to make sure everybody is getting everything they need. You know Giannis doesn't have a jumper. So if you know he doesn't have an 18-foot jumper, then help him with that. Have him practice that. I'm sure he wouldn't mind being in the gym before and after practice. Like, that's what he needs help with to change his game. Everybody knows his game. So you can go ahead and double team him because everybody knows, well, ain't nobody else really going to do anything. So that's coaching.
I don't think Holiday fits in very well with the Bucks either. At least right now.
They've been trying a whole bunch of different things. Let me talk to Sherry's point about Giannis. I mean, Giannis is a gym rat. He eats, he breathes basketball. Even when he signed his Supermax extension, they asked him what was he going to do. He was going to buy some clothes for his kid, go home, take a nap. He going back to the gym the next day. That's what Giannis does. And like you said, he started playing basketball at a later life. You got to remember, he was in the second division in Greece before coming over here. So he didn't have the same type of resources like a five-star recruit would have if they was going out to some of these big programs and everything. So to see his growth from 13 to now, two-time MVP, a defensive player of the year, and all these other awards have been fantastic. But when you take a look at the Bucks team and how they operate, I get the 4-out system where you want to surround them with shooters and all this other stuff. But at the same time, when they're building that wall against Giannis, you have to be able to do a couple of different things. Put Giannis in a post, especially if they got smaller defenders on them. If you're going like the Celtics, if you're going to put Marcus Smart on them, man, put Giannis in a post and let him go to work. I don't care if Giannis goes to the free throw line 15 times and only hits one free throw. To me, that puts pressure on your defense. That puts pressure on the other team for them to account for Giannis in that post, right? And he's a good enough passer to make the right reads and different things like that. But when you start him at the top of the key, then expect for him to drive left and spin back right and do some of these other things, you have to incorporate some more diversity within your offense. Put him in different spots. Put him on a low block. Get him easy layups. Get him easy touches. Let him don't let him work so hard to get the ball. Chris Middleton is more than a capable scorer and distributor. So is Drew Holiday. Some of these other pieces that they have as well. I just don't think that the coaches have put them in the best position to see them succeed right now. Like I said, it's early in the season. They're trying a whole bunch of different things. They're using the regular season as an experiment. I mean, they're going to make it to the playoffs, and where it lies from there is really up to you. They're really going to be judged in the postseason.
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of teams are following what the Lakers were doing earlier last season when they were running the ball through the big man. LeBron. But with Giannis, they're trying to put the ball in his hands so that he can kind of be more more active and get the tempo going. But he's the type of player you have to he has to play off the ball to get better results. The same thing with Luka Doncic. You got to with Luka, especially with him. Those players they try to create so much when really they need to slow the tempo down and actually move the ball around and get it back to them in a better position. I mean, I think this is where a lot of these newer guards that's in the league now are going to be able to help some of these superstar players be more active within the offense. That's just my opinion.
Well, go ahead, Sherry. Go ahead.
So I was just gonna ask a question, not really a question, make a statement question. So John Wall was traded by the Wizards, right, to Houston, and he says that the Wizards didn't give him the respect or the honesty that he deserved. So he felt like he's been there 10 years. He thought he had a better relationship with the owner. They heard a rumor. That was the only time he heard it. And when he found out he was traded was the day he was traded, when the owner put in caps and sent a text to him that said, please call. So do you think that he wasn't in a really good position? Do you think that that was a good trade? Like, because he's hurt. You know, he didn't get a chance to do anything, say anything, prepare for anything. They just traded him and he had to go.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Scott, not Scott Skiles. Is it Scott Skiles? No.
Oh, Scotty Brooks. Sorry.
Scotty Brooks. Yeah, Scotty Brooks. He is the coach, and this is his second time around coaching. Actually, third time around. You know, because he came from the Timberwolves originally. He coached Oklahoma City. They left there, and I'll tell you, I just think they got a messed up situation all the way around. They don't have nothing's cohesive. I mean, and especially when you got Russell Westbrook there. Whoo! Russell Westbrook you have to have the right situation to put Russell Westbrook in, and Washington was not the right situation for him. The other thing is, we're talking about coaching. This is Scott Skiles' second team, right? And it's not going well for Scotty. So Brooks, I guess,
yeah.
Right. Brooks. I'm sorry. I keep thinking Scott Skiles. It's Scott Brooks. Do you fire Scott Brooks?
I mean, who do you bring in? So that's going to be your next question. I mean, do you superstar coach, or do you want somebody to rebuild, a new coach that you give some rebuilding time? So,
well, the team is in rebuilding mode anyway.
Exactly. So,
that's the thing.
Still a quote from LeVar Ball, and that team is raggedy. That team is raggedy. That team is raggedy. And eventually, what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to sell off the hottest stock. They're gonna have to get rid of Bradley Beal, because right now you take a look at that team. If Bradley Beal is your centerpiece and if Bradley Beal is your focus, you're supposed to be able to build around Bradley Beal. And you take a look at the last couple of draft classes they brought in, some of their free agent signings. They just haven't been good. they just haven't been good. Davis Bertans hasn't been good since signing that big contract. Russell Westbrook hasn't been good. Ryu Hachimura, he's been okay. Thomas Bryant is hurt. You just don't have a lot of, you don't have a lot of pieces that you're looking around and say, okay, we can actually compete. That team is, they're gonna have to just blow everything up and just go kind of the Oklahoma City way. Just collect draft capital, get some assets, and just try to build it up again.
So get rid of Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm.
And where does Bradley Beal go? Miami?
I don't know if Miami has the capital that if I was Washington that I would want back in return. That's the biggest problem.
Right.
Now they got two things. I mean, Beal, his contract, and like you say, the draft. It's a lot for them, and I think they're like they're pretty close. So they would have to do a lot to make the numbers work, even with a trade. You know what I'm saying? Even if they give them some draft picks or whatever, they still got to make the money work. So I don't think they have enough money to play with to get that trade. They would need a third team again. They would need a third team. So like everybody else, that was the same thing with Westbrook and James Harden. You need 3 or 4 teams because they're at like $40 million right now. I mean, I think Bill is like 30-some million a year. So that's still a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, I can't, the teams that will be interested with them, they don't have kind of the pieces. If I was running Washington that I would want in return, either I need a young player I can build around, or I need some draft capital. I'm gonna need at least 2 to 3 first round picks. A young player. I don't think Miami really has that. I don't think Toronto really has that. The Clippers are interested in them. they got rid of all their draft capital when they traded for Paul George. So it's, there's not a lot of places you can actually see him going and kind of succeeding in. So
now I'm gonna tell you this. I've been watching Golden State a lot, and Golden State looks spectacular. Spectacular. And Andrew Wiggins is now becoming the player that we thought he was going to be with the Timberwolves.
When you're not happy in a situation, then you don't play like it.
No,
like you play like you want to be traded. So
he had the pressure. He didn't have the pressure on him. He don't have the pressure on him in Golden State. He just got to go out there and shoot the ball every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
Free Willie right now. All the threes I want, he's green lit. And you got Steph getting like 30 a game right now. Like, man, Steph is 2 years ago Steph. So now it's like, like look
so at do you think his defense is still suspect though?
No, I don't. And strangely enough, all of a sudden Andrew Wiggins is playing defense now. But he wasn't playing it when he was here. But I guess when he was here, it was a whole different situation because at one time we had Wiggins, we had Levine, and we had Cat. They trade Levine, and now Cat's by himself. But now you look at me personally, I would get rid of Cat.
That's a hard sell, man. Yeah, that's a hard sell, Big Sam, because you got his boy right there with him, with D'Angelo Russell. The Timberwolves are such an interesting team because it's not like they don't have talent. You got Russell, you got Edwards, you got Beasley. Cat has just come back from COVID protocol. So you have, you got three guards that can. You got three guards that can get it. You need a bucket. You got three guards that can really go get you a bucket, and you got Cat down low. You would think that, okay, this is a team that can compete for a playoff spot in the West. But
they're not going to.
Yeah, they're not going to. But like you said,
coaching
plays a big part to that.
Well, the thing, and I
talked about that though last week, didn't we?
Yeah,
how they're probably not going to get rid of Ryan Sanders.
No, they're not going to. A little secret about the Timberwolves is that Flip's wife owns 5% of the Timberwolves.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's a hard sell. And plus, you look at some of the players off the bench. You got Ricky Rubio coming off the bench.
They're about to trade him again, though.
You just look at the T-Wolves team, and it's just kind of like this is a team that should be able to go get it. I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the biggest Cat fan. But I respect his game. I think he should be on the block a little bit more and kind of dominating kind of on the block a little bit more. But at the same time, you have a big man that can shoot the three, that can rebound, can go coast to coast, can go get his numbers. Why is it, what's not working?
It's just my opinion. I just think it's coaching because it seems like Ryan Sanders is just kind of he inherited that job. He was an assistant coach for a long time through two coaches. Sam Mitchell, he was assistant with Sam, a low assistant with Sam Mitchell, and then Tibbs came in, and basically what it was is that they just can't fire him. And Glenn Hitter's already said he is not firing Ryan Saunders. So there goes your season.
Yeah. Every year, there goes your season. Javier, how much time we got?
We got 5 minuets.
Minuets.
Okay, so one more thing. We got 3 minutes to talk about it, right? So James Harden and Kyrie Irving had a conversation, I guess, after practice where Kyrie Irving told James Harden, "You are the point guard and I am the shooting guard." Does that even sound right?
Yes.
It does. You know what's crazy? Him and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Him and KD been talking about that. I want to play off. Kyrie's been saying, I want to play off the ball. I want to play down in the post. I want to do other things. I want to do this. I want to do that. I can go beat my man anytime I want to. He's been trying to get there. And now that he's like, Harden scores because he has to. Harden has to score. But Harden, he can dish the ball because that's what he does. That's what his game really is. And now it's like, oh, I don't really have to touch the ball. I can play off the ball and I can shoot as much as I want now. So now he's like, that's his ego. That's his Kyrie's ego. Just saying. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but that's just. I mean, we know what he could go do. So I mean, I would put it that way and see what happens.
Yeah, Kyrie's an assassin.
Yeah, he is, and he's probably bipolar too.
That too, but when you look at that team, you like, well, yeah, we want the ball in Harden's hands to distribute a little bit more. You got to remember, D'Antoni's on the coaching staff, and Steve Nash is on the coaching staff too, so it all makes sense. Right. But my biggest concern about them is that small ball style has not worked. You're going to at least need, one or two capable big men, because when you go against the East, you don't have no one to hold Joel Embiid.
Oh no.
You don't have no one to put on Giannis when they put him down there. And those are going to be your two biggest competitors right there. I mean, yeah, they gonna score 140, 150, but they probably gonna give up 145, 149 and a half,
Right. So, look, don't let KD have one bad game. Don't let KD be like 20 points in a bad shooting game. It's over. If KD has a bad shooting game, it's a wrap. Because that's their man. That's really the guy. KD's always everybody's X factor.
Right.
Right.
And KD is instant offense.
Yeah.
KD will get a bucket from anywhere on the court.
Yeah. And
we gotta wrap this up though. But I want to thank Brother Marvin from church. we gotta have you back on, Marv. You willing to come back on?
Nah, come on, man. I'm always willing to come back on, man.
We'll have you back on down the road. And I also want to thank Sherry for coming in. I guess my other nephew had to go, right? Parker left.
He back.
Parker's back.
Yeah.
Oh. Want to thank Parker. Want to thank Sherry. Want to thank Javier. And want to thank you all for listening. And we come on every Sunday. We post the show normally on Mondays. Hint for you. And yeah.
Wow, so he just threw you under the bus, Javier.
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
I mean, it's the lady who pays. It's not my fault.
Right.
Right.
So anyway, we'll be back next week, and we'll have another guest, and we'll talk some more hoops. And I want to thank everybody for listening to Big Sam and Nephews and Sherry. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good night, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.